Yeah, I mean, Patino is another player that I'm looking forward to seeing. I watched him against
Manchester United last time out at home. Harrison Fultz returns in goal. Cornell in a rich vein of form, and those two players you're looking at there, 9 and 11. Tonight and get another win. 3 wins and 1 draw in their last 4 in Premier League 2. They're in a rich vein of form, and those two players you're looking at there, 9 and 11, Kabirith and Folarin Balogun, the skipper. They've scored 16 goals between them at this level over the course of this season alone. And the man in black, your referee tonight, is Daniel Lamport, as we prepare to get underway in Boreham Wood for a very big night of Premier League 2 action. And I stress again, it is brilliant to have you all with us. It's good to see the rematch homage to Black Lives Matter, given its proper and fair respect. No room for racism in any quarter in sport and beyond. We are underway. Hotly contested ball on the far side already, and Arsenal will be pleased to get that early decision their way. Could be a feisty night on the evidence of the first 20 seconds, Nigel.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping for plenty of goals, a competitive game. I personally don't like to see one team run away with it. Obviously, I'm hoping for that Arsenal victory tonight. But also, you want to see a test, don't you? You want to see your young players, how they respond in different periods of the game. So how is it when they're playing well? What happens when they come under a bit of pressure? Maybe they lose a little bit of their form through the game. Which one of these players can gather the team together and hold them in case of this difficult period? But I know with Arsenal, we're going to, with this under-23 team, they like to knock the ball around, they like to move the ball, and I'm sure we're going to see plenty of goals.
Just wondering as well, Nigel, let's watch this. What formation Arsenal go with? Often, of course, as we know, the under-23s mirror the first team, and that is very much the plan of slotting in at various levels as you move up the levels and age groups. But there's been a back three a fair amount for Arsenal in recent times. And with the likes of Lopez not playing tonight, Rekik, Norton Cuffy, we'll see what lineup and what 11 in terms of their position on the field Kevin Betsy has gone with. One thing I can guarantee is they will press out and continue to press out pretty much regardless of what pressure they're under. Saw them desperate to play the ball last time out.
Yeah, we'll try and pick it up as they go along the formations. But always when people talk about formations to me, it's all about adapting. You can start with a 4, sometimes it can fill into a 5.
And it all opens up here. And that's a good early save. I mentioned that he is the danger man tonight in terms of goals. Luke Plange for the away team. And Plange there just bursting clear and given a bit of space to do so, Nigel.
Well, it was a good little pass into him, but look at the space. He wasn't picked up at all. And on his left foot there, wide in the area. It was a good opportunity for Derby County.
Ejahiri with the save, but he can't make the save this time. The moments after the opening shot was reined in, second effort is fired home from Derby County, and it's Louis Sibley with a well-taken goal. Sibley unleashing one from the edge of the box, and the youngster with an excellent finish. And moments after, Ejahiri was the hero. Not this time around, and it's Arsenal 0, Derby 1.
I just wonder whether this caught out Ejahiri. Just have a look here, but Arsenal again, lots of space in midfield. Look, you can't let team travel with the ball here. Good left-footed shot. Just wonder if the goalkeeper saw this a little bit late or wasn't expecting the shot. It's a nice strike. I don't know, it's a good distance. Maybe the goalkeeper could have done a bit better, but just shows what can happen. It's a good start by Derby County, and they take the lead.
Nice little finish there from Louis Sibley. Has played a fair number of matches at senior level. 14 in total as the ball goes loose, and Arsenal in a bit of trouble again, riding their luck. I think back to the Premier League Cup defeat at the hands of West Brom that I covered for us a couple of weeks ago, where the weakened, effectively under-18 team, but Arsenal kept playing out from the back and standing off and getting themselves in trouble early on defensively. And already one or two worrying similarities for me here, as Nigel, a little bit of uncertainty and unease, and tempting to sometimes play out when maybe it's not always the best course of action.
No, you know, your manager might tell you, and it might be the way that you want to follow the first team. That's great. Also, within this under-23 game, your manager might say, we need to play out from the back. But I always call it risk assessment when you're playing. You're out on the pitch. You're the one that can see the game. You've got to decide whether it's actually on to play out from the back, or at times you need to drop it maybe into midfield or a little bit further forward into the forwards' feet. You can't always play out from the back, even if you're being asked to do so. But the one thing I was also looking at, just looking at the teams, that Derby look a little bit more stronger in terms of physicality. So that would be interesting to see whether Arsenal can get this ball moving quickly and get back into this game.
Absolutely. And they will, as I say, continue to keep trying to stroke the ball around that back four or back five and make something happen. But a few of the issues in that cup game against West Brom included the fact that the midfield was then often bypassed, and those in the centre of the park can find themselves as kind of bystanders for much of the match. And hope that Arsenal can find a way, and that Kevin Betsy can show a bit of tactical acumen to make sure his young charges get into this one. Because the key point, Nigel, there is so much attacking quality in this Arsenal team. Kiddo Taylor-Hart, Mika Biereth, Balogun, Patino, Salah Adine, Hutchinson. I mean, that is 6 quality players. Just got to find a way of getting them into the game and getting the best out of them.
No, you have.
But you're on the back foot, it's so hard, isn't it?
Yeah, but you've also got to have those players at times getting into good positions defensively. You know, we talk about their attacking prowess. That's where we want to see them. But defensively at times, some of those players have got to come back into good positions just to slow the opposition down, make them going sideways and backwards and not being able to play through the lines. We saw very, very quickly Derby County played through Arsenal's lines twice. Once the goalkeeper made a good save, and the second time they scored. And here
they come again down the right-hand side. And to prove your point, Kiddo Taylor-Hart wearing 10, doing his best to do a little bit of defensive work and doing so exactly again there. But it's that same tricky player, Louis Sibley, the goal scorer, who was twisting and turning to the right edge of the box. Sibley, 14 appearances for Derby's senior team this season, 30 last season, 11 the season prior, dropping back down to under-23s of late. Second appearance at this level this season, already with 1 goal. And that kind of experience does show, doesn't it, Nigel? And we've seen it already with his finish.
Yeah, it does. It's, you know, to play in the big games at first team level makes such a difference. But this game already just sort of mirrors the game I did against Tottenham Hotspur we were talking about, where for the first 15 minutes, Arsenal were very, very lucky to still be in the game. You know, Tottenham created 3 or 4 good chances, didn't take them, and then Arsenal came through very, very strong. But, you know, you just need to get settled now and get a rhythm into your game. I think it's a little bit slow at this moment in time, and Arsenal need to pick up the pace. The ball needs to be moving a bit quicker. It's okay keeping the ball, but you've got to move it. You've got to move the opposition around, or they'll let you just keep it at the back all night.
Absolutely, and as we say, that front 6 just need to get involved in an offensive sense, rather than, as you've already touched on, tracking back and trying to help out defensively. Here is Charlie Patino. Now the youngster can certainly move and drive the ball. Patino, as Nigel highlighted, one of the stars to watch, and so good at moving that ball at his feet. Patino drawing the foul from Luke Plange there. This is maybe a chance for Arsenal to do something, but Derby pressing well themselves. Darren Wassell's men certainly covering every blade of grass, but they're cut open for the first time here. Nice interplay. James Olayinka as far as Ryan Alebiosu. Here's Biereth, the 18-year-old. Out as far as Omari Hutchinson. Hutchinson, 4 goals to his name this season already there with that shock of blonde hair on top. Unfortunately, his pass there just left a little to be desired. Needed to certainly challenge the Derby defence a bit more.
Yeah, it was good link-up play by Arsenal then, just as Hutchinson got to the byline. The cross just didn't have enough quality, but we know this young man has a lot of quality.
Olayinka sliding one through beautifully here. It's not going to count, unfortunately. James Olayinka with a superb run. Sliding it through to the big man, to Folarin Balogun. Just for a second, we thought that Flo had got his 12th of the season. Not to be. Fortunately, the referee's assistant quick to wave that flag. But I tell you what, we don't have a great angle, but from where we're watching, there wasn't a lot in that.
Well, from my angle, as you say, we haven't got a perfect angle. I thought it was a terrific goal. I mean, that must have been fractions. Couldn't have been much in that at all.
Very, very close. Now here's Beerith, much more like it from Arsenal. Absolute howitzer into the top corner. Thank you very much. Slow start from the junior Gunners, but a rasping response and a quite brilliant goal on that far side. They have scored some worldies in recent weeks of Arsenal's under-23s, and they, Nigel, have added another one there, having been harshly seen a goal ruled out. They hit back with an absolute class strike, and it's Arsenal 1, Derby 1.
Yeah, well, Olayinka wins the ball, and Hutchinson's involved. Then it's switched out to the right-hand side, and isn't it a sensational finish? It's a lovely piece of play by Arsenal, and what a finish into that far corner. Terrific goal. Brilliant play by Arsenal. Terrific goal.
And it was the power and the precision of the finish, wasn't it? Both things, such a pure strike first up into that top corner.
Yeah, I mean, it was just well controlled, wasn't it? It was just a beautiful strike. I mean, Arsenal win the ball back very early, and then just the quality to move the ball across the pitch, and then that sensational finish. Lovely goal.
Absolutely great work from Arsenal. At the other end, they've got to be careful though. Don't over egg it. Taylor Foran back into the team. Impereket wearing 5 at the back. Happy to just get that one clear. Again, Derby pressing through their goal scorer Sibley. Amari Hutchinson then back under considerable pressure. I think we're going to see a very hotly contested battleground here, aren't we? With Arsenal trying to play out, earn that right, earn that extra man by coming forward, and Derby very keen, Nigel, to pick their pockets.
Well, yes, I mean, you can already see that Arsenal are going to try and play out on every occasion, so it just comes to the choice: do Derby County fancy pressing all the time and trying to win that ball back? And I think they probably will, because as I said to you earlier, Arsenal needed to move the ball quicker. If they move the ball quick, Arsenal can play through the lines. We can see that they're capable of doing that, but when it's a bit slow, that gives Derby County opportunity to win the ball back and create opportunities themselves.
Nice work there from Kiddo Taylor-Hart, who, as we said, is going to have a busy old night tonight. If it is 3 at the back, then he's almost playing as a kind of wing back, but as you say, Nigel, often it's going to be interchangeable, with the likes of Mazid Ogungbo, the Young Ireland under-19s international, wearing 3. Almost playing as the left of a back 3, or sometimes as the regulation left back, and allowing Taylor-Hart to push forward. Kiddo Taylor-Hart, plenty of impressive work so far. Talking of impressive work, just back to that goal. Balogun having been denied. Bang, 12th of the season at this level. What a wonderful finish. Balogun is lights out at this level, isn't he?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about him a lot. I mean, it was a quality finish. He's got that in his game. We've seen that on numerous occasions at this level. And that's what I was saying to you at the start, you know, is it time, or will it be time in January for this young man to go out on loan and get some real, what I call, game time, whether it be, you know, at championship level, a good championship team, or, you know, will as we've seen lately, players going abroad as well. So I just don't see how he's going to stay and play at this under-23 level to really be tested and give us an opinion of where this young man can go.
Well, he's 20, so he's not the youngest in this team, when he's not the oldest either. He's at an important age, and as you say, 2 first-team appearances this season, including that Brentford game. We'll come back to that in a moment, because here come Derby, to their credit, rocked by the goal, but Wassell's boys also trying to find their feet as well. Down that far side. Cornell MacDonald beginning the attack. Robinson, the Northern Irishman, calling for the ball in field. They go wide instead, and it's Foran with the block. Osazi Agatiste trying to make something happen for the away side. And again, feeding Sibley. But Arsenal will be far happier now, having looked a little bit rickety, to put it mildly, in the first few minutes. If they can force Derby into efforts from distance like this, they're doing a bit better, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, but I think Derby County are very much in this game. I think they can still cause Arsenal problems. They seem to be very good at getting the ball between the Arsenal midfield and defence, and that's when your defenders have big decisions to make. Do you back off, or do you have to go and close down? And we've seen 3 or 4 shots come in against the Arsenal goal. But as we said at the start, we thought there'd be goals. And having watched the opening 14 minutes, I'm convinced there'll be a few more yet.
I fully agree. Olayinka and Hutchinson starting a nice move from this near stand side. And there's Taylor Hart and Agungbo exchanging passes on the far. Here's Ryan Elebiosu, who plays as the right wing back with Lopez on the left. Slight changes we've touched on today. Was Hutchinson brought down? The answer is no. I think that was Max Bardwell who made the challenge. He's got away with it. Diving tackle was beautifully timed there. Great bit of play from Elebiosu. Great interception. Had to time that one perfectly, Nigel. You know, as a fullback, you've got to be bang on if you make that kind of commitment, haven't you?
Well, if you, as I call it, the modern game, if you make a sliding challenge and miss...
Got to be crystal clear.
Yeah, you've got to take the ball and not even take the man now.
Exactly.
You've got to take the ball clean and leave the opposing player standing up to make sure that you know that it's a perfectly good challenge. Sometimes 2 players run in a slightly different direction and there's a slide tackle. It's quite obvious to me that one of them is going to go over, and sometimes it baffles me as to why there's a foul given.
Opportunity for Derby. And that's another good save. Ejahiri with 2 good stops. And it's Luke Plange looking for that 5th of the campaign. Pulling the trigger there.
Yeah, not afraid to shoot from, 18 to 25 yards out. Derby County, that's 4 or 5 efforts I can remember already. And a couple of those on target. One went in, a couple on target, making the goalkeeper make a save. So they do look dangerous.
Plange was part of the Arsenal junior setup, much younger in his career. Played for the under-18s for a couple of seasons, actually. Scored a few goals as well. 3 in the 19 to 20 season, 4 the season after before making the switch. This is Plange's 2nd season with Derby. 5 goals last season, 4 so far this time around, stepping up to under-23s from under-18s, which, as we know, is tough. There's a real physical step up between 2 age groups, an intensity step up as well. Maybe not quite as big as then clearly up to the senior level, but it's still an important one. So Plange, Nigel, will be keen to score against his old club, clearly, won't he?
Well, he certainly will. I mean, I don't know too many players that don't like scoring. That's for sure. So I certainly didn't get that many, but when I did, I did like a celebration, that's for sure. I think it was more of shock than anything else.
19 as well as Plange. Another talented teen is Patino. And for the future, we talked about his mazy runs with the ball at his feet. Look at this from Charlie Patino. Appeals for a penalty. Was he bundled down by Aaron Cashin? The answer was no. To his credit, the referee Lamport was well placed and decided that the centre half for Derby did not bundle Patino down illegally, but this is a good run.
Well, it's a great run by Patino. I don't see much contact on the ball there. Maybe the referee just felt it was not a strong enough challenge, but wouldn't surprise me either way. He went with no penalty, the referee, but also I wouldn't have been surprised if he had have given that as as a penalty. I could have seen why, but maybe just felt that there wasn't quite enough contact. But there was certainly no contact with the ball to start with.
I think he's a little bit unlucky personally there, Patino. Kieran Cashin, the Irishman, the skipper. Like he almost barrel-chested him over, but certainly no contact with the ball. Is it just two players running across each other? That effectively was the view of the officials. So Arsenal at 1-1, Nigel, as we approach the 20-minute mark, hitting back nicely after a shaky opening. A goal disallowed for offside that looked very marginal moments before Balogun then did score. And then now a good penalty shout as well. Very eventful.
Yeah, it's been a good start to the game by both teams, actually. Derby taking the lead with a terrific goal. Arsenal then responded with a
even better goal.
With a better goal by, particularly from the Arsenal point of view, it was a lovely goal by Balogun, and I think it's evenly matched at the moment. As I say, I still believe that both teams will score again.
Dylan Williams, not seen a huge amount of the Derby left back in the game so far. There he was, rampaging down the left-hand side. Hutchinson sticking to him well, and Hutchinson surging upfield, brought down by Darren Robinson. One of those 4 Derby changes. Quick free kick, Beerith back to Hutchinson. County have got to be careful here, otherwise they might finally give away a penalty. Patino to Olayinka. Both of these two increasingly linking that defence to midfield well, which is crucial. Not seen a lot of Salah Eddinham hand yet in this one. The young Dutchman wearing 8. I'm sure will become a growing force, and another prodigiously talented youngster in this team. Alebiosu, he of the well-timed slide tackle a little earlier that drew all of our positive plaudits. This is nice. Arsenal just stroking it around in a more advanced position, inviting Derby on, but into the county half. A bit more purpose and swagger and confidence to what Arsenal are doing now, Nigel.
Yeah, keeping the ball nicely here, trying to move it from one side to the other, just looking to open up the opposition. As I said to you, it's important to be patient at times, but also with being patient means you can still move the ball quickly and keep possession.
Kiddo Taylor-Hart, not had as many opportunities as I think he would have liked in recent weeks. It's working nicely, and that's a golden chance for Arsenal. And it was that man, Taylor-Hart. 2 goals against Spurs earlier in the season, none since with limited opportunity. And Kiddo Taylor-Hart, I think, will really feel that he could have done better here as the ball fell back to him.
Yeah, it was a good move to start with by Arsenal, good little bit of interplay, and then when the ball came back to Taylor-Hart, the disappointing thing is he'd want to hit the target, and I think he knows that. It's so crucial in those areas. Make the goalkeeper make a save.
Hefty solid relief, therefore, for the returning Harrison Folks in goal for Derby. Struggled to have made that save, having just been sprawled low to his left moments earlier. We mentioned veteran David Marshall in goal last time around. Here is Mika Beerith, still only 18. Played for the Danish under-19s during the international break, as he's done pretty regularly of late. Beerith, a physical figure, isn't he, for someone who's only 18?
Yeah, he's a big, strong player, isn't he? He's got a good touch on the ball as well. You just think that what you're looking for with someone that is that strong is tend to look at their movement as well. How good is their movement? How can they lose the opposition players that are trying to mark them? Can they go into clever areas and test the opposition defensively?
Oh, that's a terrible ball and a wonderful opportunity, and thank you very much, say Arsenal. They're ahead for the first time, having put all sorts of pressure on Derby. Finally, County fluff their lines, give the ball away, and it's an absolute tap-in. Thank you very much to Folarin Balogun. And Balogun has got his second of the night. What a night it is for the 20-year-old. A screamer for the first. An instinctive tap-in in the right position for the second. Derby implode, and Arsenal take full retribution. It's Arsenal 2, Derby 1.
Yeah, we're catching with the mistake, and that's what I'm talking about. Decision making. You want to play out from the back, but it's not on to play out from the back, so just drop it into midfield. Rolls it right across. I was going to say the 6-yard line, but it was even closer to the goal than that. And Balogun's just standing there, takes a touch. Thank you very much. Arsenal lead.
It's a great example of Balogun, isn't it? You've seen two totally different sorts of goal over the course of this match already. And already, he's on to 13 for the season. Patino doing his best to snap at the heels of Agatis. Here's Williams. Derby a little bit rattled here, just like Arsenal seemed to be early on in this game. The tide has turned big time as Olayinka brings it forward. Delatadine lets it run out to that far side. And as much as Arsenal were trying to play out and struggled to do so early on, it was that Derby with exactly that same problem, and you could argue even worse for that goal.
Oh, Cashin simply has to make the decision to just really where he is. He could just drop that over to the right back, drop it over to right midfield. I mean, to try and get enough pace to hit that across in front of his goal with any Arsenal player in the vicinity, you're just playing such a risk game, and he just got it completely wrong and set up probably the easiest chance and the easiest goal that Balogun's got this season.
Going back to the point you raised before, of course, he has been given a first-team squad number this season. A couple of the youngsters coming through, picked and given that accolade, of which he was one. And there was talk before that maybe Balogun might move on and go elsewhere. Whether that was to come back one day or not, we didn't know. He decided to stay, take a new deal, get that squad number. And even though he's dropped back to under 23 level at the moment, there does seem to be some kind of future strategy for him. And we'll see whether or not an opportunity opens up. You've got the likes of Eddie Nketiah, of course, in there just above him in terms of age and experience. Then you're into the first team regulars. It's just whether or not that path will open up, and as you say, whether he needs to nip away on loan or something to help engineer it. We shall see. He's been given a proper lengthy run at this division once again. And it's working absolutely beautifully. If you're just joining us on Arsenal's official Twitch or at arsenal.com, good to have you with us. And it's a game that's turned big time already. 2 goals from Flo Balogun, the skipper. Turn this one on its head, and that's on top of a goal disallowed that was narrowly offside at best, and a disallowed penalty when Patino was shoved over as well. So bearing all that in mind, even Betsy's boys are looking pretty good. Foul there though on Louis Watson, another young Irishman. Not seen much of Watson in this game so far. But I think we can safely say that he was upended, and that was the right decision. Can't complain about that one.
Yeah, I think it was Balogun, wasn't it, trying to shield the ball, and was deemed to have been just a little bit too aggressive. And now it looks like Williams might play this in with his left foot, or is he going to leave it to Watson? I'm sure this is going to go in left-footed. No, it's not.
It's going to be, yeah, Watson, who began his career at West Ham, left them last season to join Derby. Hasn't scored so far this campaign, but he has played 11 times for the senior team since he made that switch as well. So another player who's got a bit of first team experience. Still moving the ball beautifully at the other end, from defence into attack. The only thing that move sadly lacked was a slightly more composed finish.
Yeah, it was good movement. Also actually moving the ball very well now from back to front. It's just that little bit of composure there by Salah Olamide, wasn't it? And he's got great ability as well, but the strike itself was just a little wild.
Yep, Salah-Eddine is a very, very talented player, no question. When he's on it, when he clicks and has those beautiful 20, 30-minute purple patches in matches, he can orchestrate play quite brilliantly. We've not really seen it in this game yet, but that's fine. Others have certainly stepped up and done it so far. sure we're going to get a spell from him at some point in the match, the little Dutch maestro. Here he is again, becoming increasingly involved.
Yeah, he was outstanding in the Brighton game. He played very well in that game. I was so impressed with him. I have to admit, in the end, I started to call him Salah, because when you're trying to do the commentating and the ball's moving around, it's quite a mouthful to keep it going. But this young man has got plenty of ability.
Yeah, totally agree. And funnily enough, he's very keen to make sure that Salah Eddin is the name that he's called, just so that there are no sort of untoward, excessive comparisons at this stage to a certain other Salah. Some bloke who plays for Liverpool, apparently. He was quite good.
Well, I don't think that's going to happen. I think I think he can rest assured he's got a long way to go before they keep
wants to be a man in his
it.
own right, though. I think is a good way to make the phrase.
He's still a man in his own right, because just because you have the same name, it doesn't bring any comparisons. I don't like comparisons.
No.
They're at different ends of the spectrum in terms of their careers. But I understand what he says, but I don't think he needs to worry about that.
Yeah, Liverpool senior team playing Southampton, of course, tomorrow. I'm going to be covering that game, funnily enough. Wish I was doing the Arsenal game, but that Newcastle match, just while we're on the senior team for a second, Eddie Howe's first since COVID as their boss. Gunners looking to bounce back from the Liverpool game. It's a big one, isn't it, to get back onto another good run straight after one poor result.
Yeah, we had a fantastic run, then a disappointing performance. I think Liverpool were just way too good for us. But then once you lose a game, you want to bounce back very, very quickly and get that run started again. And, well, I'll be interested, is Eddie Howe there? Will he be at the game? Because...
yeah, he's now back.
He's now
they've
back,
said he's just about completed his quarantine. He's had a negative test. So, yeah, they've just said today that he is going to be there.
Right, so he'll be there as well. So that will spur them on. I think it'll be a difficult game tomorrow for Arsenal.
Here come Derby trying to make things difficult. And we said it would be a high-scoring game. We'll check for any potential offside. And there is no offside. A really nice sweeping move there from County. Arsenal just taking their concentration off for a moment. Confirm the score in a second, but I'm pretty sure that it's the former Arsenal man. We'll see whether it is Plange who's poked it in. But it's Arsenal.
Looks so simple, but I think Arsenal will be disappointed that they've let this lead slip so quickly. So we talked about goals, and we're certainly going to get them. And we have got 4 already.
Yeah, I totally agree. As disappointing as that goal was to concede, as Arsenal look in trouble again. It was a well-worked goal. Nice work on the overlap as well from Cornell McDonald, the returning right back. Suddenly Derby have got that spring in their step again. And it's the away side surging forward. Remember, they're bottom. Arsenal are top, but you would not know it.
Yeah, I don't think...
Couple of games.
Yeah, but in this league that we've talked about, you know, with so many players coming in and out, sometimes it's a little bit hard to judge the form completely on just looking at the league table.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I did say, I think, just in our build-up, that of late, Derby have actually found their feet. Yeah. They've been playing quite well after 8 defeats in 9, Nigel, in the league. They beat Blackburn 6-0. They then beat Reading 2-1 in the Premier League Cup, and they've just drawn 1-1 with Man United. So they have, of late, found their feet. And that's despite, as I say, their top scorer missing 2 of those 3 games with injury. Jack Stretton, the Scots, scored a hat-trick in their Blackburn win. Hasn't featured since, but something is definitely clicking now under Darren Wassell, former Derby and Nottingham Forest defender back in the day. Would you have played against Darren Wassell potentially at any stage? I'm just trying to think.
No, I'm trying to think back.
Yeah, I was wondering.
I may have done.
Yeah.
I would have to get my notebook out and have a look at that one and go back into the depths of the 1980s to have a look.
Yeah.
And see. You put me on the spot there, Russ. I'm not great at remembering who I've played against.
Birmingham City was at as well.
Yeah, I could well have done.
Midlands man like ourselves, we should say that. You're a Nuneaton man, am I right in saying?
Well, yeah, I was born in Nuneaton, but I
Yeah.
lived sort of right in the middle between Nuneaton and Coventry. So I don't want to upset my friends that were in the Coventry area. So let's just put it as right in the middle.
Yeah, well, I'm from near Walsall, as Derby look for their third, and that's a very, very important block. Walsall from Edgbaston, just near the centre of Birmingham. Anyway, with that link in mind, Derby under Walsall, near getting their third, and it was that same player, Plange again. Great work from Cornell MacDonald. In the end, a good diving block from Taylor Foran. Not sure that Plange quite caught it as he wished, but Foran did well to get across, and in the end, play it off the Derby player and out for a goal kick.
Well, he set it up nicely. Then it looked to me as if it was almost a little bit of a fresh air shot, a miss kick, and Arsenal get away. But Derby County are they're looking dangerous again.
It's remarkable how this game has ebbed and flowed. We've seen both teams have 2 periods of dominance each already in just 35 minutes. Fascinating. 2 informed teams despite the table. Here come County again. Agatis out as far as Sibley. Wants his second. Agatis again. Powerful shot blocked. A decent effort that direction on that occasion, but Derby certainly not frightened to take a pop, and that was Louis Watson again, becoming a little bit more increasingly involved as the half has continued.
Yeah, first effort was blocked, wasn't it? And then Watson just with a little bit of follow-up in that range again, where we were talking about 20 yards out. Quite happy to, every time they get an opportunity, quite happy to try and test the Arsenal goalkeeper from distance.
Thoroughly enjoyable game so far.
Yeah, you wouldn't like to try and predict this one, how it would finish. I mean, it looked like Arsenal were going to come on and take control of the game going ahead, but...
Nice through ball here, looking for Beereth. Fantastic save, low to his right. Mika Beereth talked about his finishing prowess as well as his power. Ball just fell to the young Dane. Mightily close. Lovely turn, powerful effort. And Folks, having had egg on his face for one of the Arsenal goals earlier, was atoned in a fairly major way with that save for me. Very good. Yeah,
it was a good save. It was also good play by Arsenal. Good bit of movement as well by Beereth. And Arsenal could have gone back into the lead. I was just saying, when Arsenal took the lead to go 2-1, you think they were going to take control of the game, but it's Derby County have come back strong, and Arsenal now trying to respond again.
Just to keep everybody aware, there is some talk of a potential Ryan Alibiosu own goal for the second Derby goal, the one that was given to Plange against his old team. Well, I thought that it was off Plange, but there is a concern that maybe it was kicked onto Alibiosu and in. But obviously, I think pretty much everybody would want to give it to the striker, wouldn't they? Because the defender doesn't want an own goal, and clearly Plange would quite like it against his old team. As we look at Beereth here, here's the turn. Really quick feet there, and a lovely short backlift as well.
Yeah, it was a tight angle, wasn't it? It was fired his shot away, and Folks, the goalkeeper, made a lovely save down to his right-hand side. Just managed to get enough on it to push it away that Arsenal couldn't follow up and get a third goal. But I'm with you, Russ. I still think that was a Plange goal, but I could be completely wrong.
It's been given as a Plange goal in the stadium, so we'll go with that. 2-2. Corking game so far. As we say, Kevin Betts' Premier League 2 games have been eventful lately. 3-2 Blackburn with a late winner. 3-3 Leicester, 3 down going into injury time. Beyond that, 4-2 win at Leeds, 4-0 victory against Everton. That's their next game, by the way, on December the 6th, the return fixture against the Junior Toffees away. And after that, we now know that the FA Youth Cup trip will be to Colchester on the 10th. Then it's the Premier League Cup at Southampton on the 12th. And the small matter then of the return Arsenal Spurs game on the 17th to end an exciting calendar year for the Arsenal under-23s. So many games as well, live on Arsenal.com and Twitch as well. Pleasure to bring you them and have the chance to showcase good football and some great emerging talent. Hutchinson switching flanks, interestingly, there, trying to get a bit of joy down the left, and Taylor Hart just ghosting over to this near stand side. Aaron Robinson bringing him down. Looks like Hutchinson maybe will take the free kick himself, will he? No, he's going to allow Salah-Eddin Mhand to take over the duties instead. Four goals for Salah this season. Numerous assists as well. Long way out to try and engineer something too probing and meaningful, but we'll see what he can do. Have a little short ball. Or is the powerful figure of Balogun, and so much is coming through Flo Balogun tonight, isn't it? And this time it's an Arsenal corner.
Yeah, that was a clever little free kick, because I was thinking it's way too far out just to float this into the box, and they just dinked that free kick, didn't they? It was all like a little, I call it a little driven float in to front of the box, and good hold-up play, and then Arsenal force a corner.
Hutchinson takes it, but unfortunately scuffs that one. And Sibley is the man who gets it clear. Legal challenge, though. And a very, very powerful one. Well, Gungbo it was who'd come slotting across and got stuck in. There he is again.
Yeah, good recovery play that by Gungbo. Read the game very well there. It was a cross. Covered the danger.
Nice interception, no question. Gungbo, who played for the Ireland under-19s against Austria a couple of years ago and against Switzerland as well. Got a good record. Good, exciting young player. Here come Derby again, though. So dangerous from that far side. So close to another goal. And having let one maybe squirm through a tad, Ejihiri has made a number of very important saves, including that one, to deny the left-back Dylan Williams.
Yeah, terrific strike by Williams. Just lets the ball come on, hits it really low. And Ejihiri gets down great to his right-hand side to push that away. Lovely strike by the fullback. Kept the shot really low, very powerful, but terrific save.
Not entirely sure it didn't just flick off Olibiosu's heel a tiny bit. I'd like to see the angle again of the shot, Nige, because I wonder if it just did take a slight nick. Regardless, excellent low save. Good corner here as well. Hitting right through that corridor of uncertainty on the edge of the 6-yard box. Arsenal's defenders happy to see that one fizz by. Balogun tries to play it upfield. He was certainly lacking support on that occasion. Nice little corner routine there from Derby. And here once more is Sazi Agatis. Through Robinson. Back to Watson and now out to Cornell McDonald. Of course, Derby's senior team. 12-point deduction for financial issues. It's been tough for Wayne Rooney. And as we've talked about, he has used this as an important tool as well in his squad development and returns from injury. Like the senior team, Derby's under-23s have found it tough. They do have some quality, though. Don't necessarily know it from that particular delivery. They're a team who I suspect will end up climbing this table and possibly finish outside the bottom two and maybe stay in the division. Interesting that both the seniors and the juniors have got a similar-ish league standing and similar issues.
Well, the first team, isn't it, is through this points deduction. I wasn't even sure if they've had another points deduction since.
There's certainly been talk. There has been talk. Nothing as yet.
But it's, you know, once you take a deduction, it's demoralising as a player. You just try and you're not on a level playing field. Obviously, Derby broke the regulations to put themselves in that position. And now the players have to try and pick up the pieces.
Yeah, well said. And for Rooney, certainly a baptism of fire for his first managerial job, and self-confessedly a slightly worse situation than he thought when he took the job as well. Anyway, let's focus back on the under-23s and on this game as Masood Ogungbo again tries to feed one down that far side. Folks' long clearance. Connor Dixon wearing 7. Arsenal doing a nice solid job of pressing though. Beereth covering plenty of turf, rotting around and forcing Derby back. Dixon back as far as McDonald. With a nice bit of interplay. Combination of Foran and Olayinka just about doing enough between them. And there's an offside in there as well, I think. And as you can hear there, 2 additional minutes to end the first half at Meadow Park. Kevin Betsy, the boss, very quick to praise the fighting spirit of his squad. Exceptional at times, he said, particularly in the first half of that Blackburn win, but also bemoaned periods where they didn't control the ball as well as he would have liked. Certainly controlling it pretty well at the moment, Arsenal, but again, there have been periods where others definitely passed them by. Can they work their way from defence to attack here? Amari Hutchinson with a scintillating little run, real injection of pace and quality and drive, and frustratingly has his heel clipped. And I was wondering if there might be a first yellow card of the game there, because that was a bit cynical after a great run from Amari Hutchinson.
Yeah, terrific injection of pace, very direct, close control of the ball, asking the questions of the opposition, and in the end, a foul had to be made to slow Hutchinson down. So good opportunity here for Arsenal. Would be nice to take the lead right on half time.
Yep, it'll definitely be the last play of the half, we can safely say. Roughly about 20 seconds to go. We thought he'd have a pop. Not a million miles away, Nigel, but also a little bit of an opportunity wasted, it feels.
Yeah, Fulks, the goalkeeper, looked very comfortable. So I just wonder from the angle that we were watching that from, whether it was wider of the target than we thought. But it was worth an effort.